Hi, welcome back to our series on finding your true identity. Today I want to talk to you about some important areas that has to do with childhood emotional wounds. Maybe you will be able to relate to them. But first, let me tell you about my mom and dad. Mom and dad were married before dad was shipped overseas to fight in World War II. I never knew my daddy. My dad was killed in World War II 3 months before I was born. This is my dad up here in the turret behind the 50 caliber machine gun. Some of the other men in Dad's tank came home, but Dad stayed behind to fight it out with a German tank, only to be killed for freedom from a demonic enemy. The tradition into adulthood, the coming of age, the rite of passage. My journey from teenager to adulthood was devastating. I had no motherly love surrounding me. You see, I don't remember my mother being a hugging and loving person that affirmed that I was lovable. I never felt that she really loved me. Sometimes parents don't feel a need to tell their children how much they are loved because their children should just know. The parent is emotionally distant. This is also a characteristic of countries like Norway. You see, the lack of motherly love leads to unhealthy physical and sexual attractions during puberty. A person like me may have the inability to establish non-sexual relationships that are based on love instead of lust. I certainly did. This carried over into my relationship with God because I valued what He could do for me. Maybe you had an absentee father as I did. Maybe you were emotionally and or physically abused by your father and or your mother. Maybe you were an unwanted child or the gender your parents did not want. Maybe you have been sexually abused, experienced a violent or traumatic event in your life, or have had emotional wounds inflicted upon you by others. Childhood emotional wounds that mold us into the wounded adults we become usually occur around the age of 5 years old. Like me, you may not have been aware of it. However, there's a good chance it happened to you. How many of you remember an incident from your childhood that impacted you?
How many of you remember when you were 10 years old? Well, I sure do. I will never forget that hot summer day at Grandma's in 1955. I was under an apple tree. Grandma's multicolored flowers were in full bloom, filling the air with perfume. Butterflies and bees were busy gathering nectar. Birds filled the air full of their happy songs. I cherished the opportunity of being by myself. A sense of peace came over me. God's breath blew, a gentle summer breeze that tickled the leaves. Then I heard it. Looking up, there he was. a red-winged blackbird. You know, I think I'll name you Redwing. Redwing, my mom's sick. She's got cancer. Do you know what cancer is? Me neither. She goes to the hospital for radiation treatments, whatever they are. Sometimes she's gone for days. Chirp, I replied in his own language. Amazingly, he stuck around. We spent a long time together that morning. I think God sent me a messenger. I think he was trying to tell me something. Then Redwing flew away. You know, sometimes God sends us a messenger to let us know how much he loves us. That was not the last time red-winged blackbirds mysteriously showed up in my life. Later on that morning, my mother called me into Grandma's living room. Brucey, come here. I need to talk to you. She put her hands on my shoulders and held me firmly and looked me straight in the eye. She said, if something should happen to me and I should die, where do you want to go live? I don't want to go anywhere, I screamed in panic. If only I could go and find Redwing. The summer passed. Autumn came. On October 6th, my aunt took me to see my mother in the hospital. Brucey, come here. Sit here. You be a good boy. You go and live with your aunt and uncle and cousin. But I don't want to. You be a big boy. You be a good boy. You listen to your aunt and uncle. That was the last time I ever saw my mom alive. I didn't understand it then. But God, Father God showed me how much he loved me throughout my life. No matter what I was going through, he was always there. Deuteronomy 31:6 says this, for the Lord your God goes with you. He will never leave you nor forsake you. He never has. He will always be there for you.
Most of this PowerPoint presentation was given to me by my former mentor, Reverend Harold Martin, who has gone to be with the Lord.
I'm glad you tuned in today. I hope this video helped you on your journey to discover the real you and your true identity. This is Bruce Brodowski. Be blessed abundantly. Thank you for watching. I will see you next time.